Several years ago, I read a story about the famous baseball player, Babe Ruth. Ruth, while playing a game against the Reds, made a number of errors. In fact, in one inning, his errors led to the Reds scoring 5 runs, which in large part is the reason that they lost the game. Wouldn't you know it, the team's fans really let Ruth have it. I mean, they booed him, they shouted at him, just because he cost them the game. If you follow sports at all, you know this is pretty typical. However, it's what happened next in the story that I'm really interested in. I want you to press this upon your heart. Just as the crowd was shouting at the Babe, making him feel, of course, worse than he already did, a little boy made his way to the bigger-than-life ball player and wrapped his arms around him and gave him a great big hug. Ruth picked the boy up and gave him a hug right back, and the crowd went silent. Sometimes we can be more like the jeering crowd than we can the cheering boy. Instead of encouraging the heart of our neighbor, sometimes we discourage it. But our job is to serve and minister to one another, to build one another up, not tear one another down. Paul said, "We then that are strong ought to bear the infirmities or the scruples of the weak, and not to please ourselves." That's Romans 15 and verse 1. Paul is saying that we ought to help one another. The Apostle Paul also said, "For brethren, ye have been called to liberty. Only use not liberty for an occasion to the flesh, but by love serve one another." That's Galatians 5 and verse 13. Today, let's be our neighbor's greatest cheerleader. Don't be like the crowd who booed the ball player off the field, but instead be like the little boy who, with one act of kindness, changed the entire mood of the stadium and hushed the crowd. You'll be amazed at what one small act of kindness can do to brighten someone's day. I hope you have a great day. May God bless you.